Fatiha. Selamun Salatu vesselamu ala Resulina Muhammedin seyyidina ve nefe'in adede ve sallallahu دستور إن شاء الله فاز حسن شيخ محمد الحقاني بعد طريقتنا الصحبة والخير في الجمعية ما أصاب بصفة إلا بإذن الله الله عز وجل صدق الله العظيم bir musibet olacaksa Allah Azze ve Celle'nin izniyle oluyor.
If Allah Almighty says that if an event occurs, and if it is an affliction even, it only happens through the permission of Allah Almighty.
Onun için Allah'a yalvarmak lazım bir şey oldu mu?
Therefore, if something happens, one needs to pray to Allah Almighty.
Olmadan da yalvarmak lazım.
Of course, one should also supplicate and pray to Allah Almighty in cases when there is no affliction, not only in cases if there is affliction.
Şimdi Allah'ın hikmeti bu son seneler her tarafta yangınlar çıkıyor, yangınlar oluyor.
Based on Allah Almighty's wisdom, there are now fires appearing everywhere.
Bir türlü zapt edemiyorlar.
And people are unable to take control of these fires.
Ama Allah Azze ve Celle'nin emri olduğu için her şey onun emrine, onun lütfüyle de.
But these fires too happen through the will of Allah Almighty. Everything occurs through the will of Allah Almighty. Afflictions as well as divine favors.
Gitmesi için Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem yol göstermiş.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, however, has showed us the way how to make those afflictions disappear.
Nasıl yapılacak diye. Yangın olunca tekbir.
In case of fire, one should make takbir.
Onun ateşi söndürür.
To say takbir will make the fire be extinguished.
Tekbir nedir? Allah'ın büyüklüğünü gösterir.
What is takbir? To say takbir is to declare the greatness of Allah Almighty.
Allah Azze ve Celle'nin yardımını gösterir.
To say takbir is to declare Allah Almighty's greatness and to ask Allah Almighty and to ask for Allah Almighty's help.
Tekbir küfrü ateşini söndürür.
To say takbir will extinguish the fire of disbelief.
Bu dünya ateşi ondan da güzel çok az kalır yani. Onun için tekbir küçümsenecek şey değil.
Therefore, to say takbir is something that should not be neglected. To say takbir has the power to extinguish the fire of disbelief, and the fire of this world is nothing compared to it.
İnsanlar istedikleri kadar söylesinler, alay etsinler ama bu bir gerçektir Allah Azze ve Celle'nin.
People may make fun of it. People may mock it. However, this is a reality of Allah Almighty.
Kudretiyle, onun lütfuyla o musibet gider.
And one must not neglect to say takbir. And it is through the power and through the will of Allah Almighty that an affliction will disappear.
Bu muhakkak inanmak lazım.
And there should be no doubt about it. And one must believe in it.
Allah'a şükür kaç defa bunu şahit olduk.
Thanks to Allah Almighty, we ourselves have become witness of it many times.
Şeyh Baba ile beraber bizim Kıbrıs'ta Lefke etrafında oldu.
And there have been occasions where we ourselves became witnesses of fire in Cyprus, in the surroundings of Lefka with Maulana Sheikh Nazım.
En sonunda Kıbrıslar dinden imandan fazla haberleri yok tabi. Gene de Şeyh Baba'yı çağırdılar.
And the Cypriots, they are not very much interested in religion and in faith. However, in the face of this fire, they reached out to Mevlana Sheikh Nazım and asked for help.
Son çare bakarım öyle. Beraber Allah'a şükür gitmiştik. Akşama yakında.
And they reached out to Mevlana Sheikh Nazım as a last resort. And it was close to evening time when we, together with Mevlana Sheikh Nazım, then set out.
Gece sürerse artık söndürmesi imkanı yoktu.
And the fire was that immense that if that fire continued to burn beyond evening throughout nighttime, then there would be no chance to extinguish that fire.
O tepeye çıkıp oradan tekbir getirmeye başladık.
And together with Mevlana Sheikh Nazım, we went up the hill and we started saying takbir.
Babayla o ateş Allah'a şükür akşam ezanı olmadan bitti.
And as we recited and said takbir, the fire ceased to exist, the fire extinguished step by step, and by the adhan for Maghrib prayer, the fire had extinguished.
Tekbir getirince yavaş şey yaparak bitti Allah'a şükür.
And thanks to Allah Almighty, as we started saying takbir, the fire slowly started to cease and slowly started to extinguish, and it was extinguished by the adhan for Maghrib.
Onun için yangın olan yerlerde tekbir getirmek lazım.
Therefore, it is important to say takbir, especially in those places where there's fire.
Tekbir mühimdir.
To say takbir is important.
Allah Azze ve Celle'nin büyüklüğüdür.
To say takbir is to express Allah Almighty's greatness.
Ne demek? Allahu Ekber.
And to say takbir is to acknowledge Allah Almighty's greatness. Allahu Ekber.
Allahu Ekber dedi. Allah en büyük Allah'dır.
Allahu Ekber. He Almighty Allah is the greatest.
Kimse onun gibi çok akılsız insanlar var. Şu büyüktür, bu büyüktür.
No one is like him, Allah Almighty. There are mindless people who claim to be great.
Kimse büyük değildir.
But no one is great. Only He Almighty Allah, He is the great one.
Kimsenin zerre kadar yoktur Allah Azze ve Celle'nin karşısına.
In the face of Allah Almighty, no one has any existence, not even in the size of the grain of an atom.
Ona karşı iddia edenler,
no one may make a claim in the face of Allah Almighty.
Daim hüsranda olmuş.
And those who are presumptuous before their Lord Allah Almighty will lose.
Ta Adem Aleyhisselam'dan şimdiye kadar.
And those who were arrogant and presumptuous before their Lord Allah Almighty, they are losers, and they lost, and they have lost since the time of Adam.
Tarihe bakın. Beyim diyen hiç kimse bir şey kazanamadan.
And look at history. Those who claim to be great ones, none of them remains.
Büyüksen hani neredesin?
If you are great, where are you now?
Onun için bu Allah'a tevbe edip, istiğfar edip,
therefore we must seek Allah Almighty's forgiveness and repent.
Tekbir getirip Allah'ın izniyle bu musibetler de gider Allah'ın izniyle.
And we must ask Allah Almighty for forgiveness and for pardon. And with Allah Almighty's permission, these afflictions, they will stop.
Allah lütfetsin.
May Allah Almighty grant us His divine favor.
Merhamet etsin bize.
And may Allah Almighty shower His mercy on us.
İnşallah. Ve minallah tevfik. El Fatiha.